All right, Shalom. First and foremost, we'll give all praise to Yahweh, by Shemi Shai, by Shem Kakadash, double honor to the apostle, elders, great millstone. Salute honor to you brothers out there preaching his words, sincerity, and truth. All right, coming to another video. Um, I have an article here. Basically, it's from this website, wearethemighty.com, and it's entitled "These Air Force Rods from God," in quotations, could hit with the force of a nuclear weapon. All right. This is another weapon in the Heavenly Father's arsenal. All right. The Heavenly Father uh, put this knowledge of destruction in Esau's mind to create these weapons. All right. Um, Continuing on with the article. The 107th country outer space treaty signed in 1967 prohibits nuclear, biological, chemical weapons from being placed or used from Earth orbit. What they didn't count on was the U.S. Air Force most simple weapon ever, a tungsten rod that could hit a city with the explosive power of an intercontinental ballistic missile. Okay. During the Vietnam War, the U.S. used what they call lazy dog bombs. These were simply solid steel pieces, less than 2 inches long, fitted with fins. Uh, there were no explosives. They were simply dropped by hundreds from planes flying above Vietnam. Lazy dog projectiles, aka kinetic bombardment, could reach speeds of up to 500 miles per hour as they fell to the ground and could penetrate 9 inches of concrete after being dropped from as little as 3,000 feet. The idea is like shooting bullets at a target, except instead of losing velocity as it travels, the projectile is gaining velocity and energy that would be expended on impact. They were shotgunning a large swath of jungle, raining bullet-sized death at high speeds. That's how projectile, it's like a Project Thor, came to be. Instead of hundreds of small projectiles from a few thousand feet, Thor used a large projectile from a few thousand miles above the earth. The rods from God idea was bundled on telephone pole sized, 20 feet long, 1 foot in diameter tungsten rods, dropped from orbit, reaching a speed from up to 10 times the speed of sound. Okay. And here are the rods right here. Look basically like bullets. The rod itself will penetrate hundreds of feet into the earth, destroying any potential hardening bunkers, okay, or secret underground sites. More than that, when rod hits, the explosion will be on par with the magnitude of a ground-penetrating nuclear weapon, but with no fallout. Okay, like the nuclear radiation. It would take 15 minutes to destroy a target with such a weapon. One Quora user who works in defense aerospace industry quoted a cost of no less than $10,000 per pound to fire anything into space. With 20 cubic feet of dense tungsten weighing in just 24,000 pounds, the math is easy. Just one of the rods would be prohibitively expensive. The cost of $230 million per rod was unimaginable during the Cold War. Damn, $230 million per rod. See, shit, Esau spend millions and billions and $1 trillion on war, man. Like was it Pac said? He said they got money for wars, but they can't feed the poor. All right. These days, not so much. The Bush administration even considered revisiting the idea to hit underground nuclear sites in rogue nations in the years following 9/11. Interestingly enough, the cost of a single Minuteman III ICBM was $7 million in 1962 when it was first introduced. $57 million adjusted for inflation. Okay, so $57 million for a Minuteman missile. The trouble with a nuclear payload is that it isn't designed to penetrate deep into the surface, and the fallout from nuclear device can be devastating to surrounding potential friendly areas. A core takeaway from the concept of weapon-like Project Thor is that hypersonic missiles pack a significant punch and might be the future of global warfare. Okay? Yep, so those are the weapons out in space, man. We got a scripture here, Isaiah 54:16. Behold, I've created the smith that bloweth the coals in the fire. That's basically the modern day scientist. And that bringeth forth an instrument for his work. I have created the waster to destroy. Okay? Because the weapons, the weaponsmith. Let me look up that word smith real quick. See what we got here. It's that napach. Okay. To breathe, blow, sniff, seethe, give up, lose life, to be blown, cause to breathe out. Okay. That's what the bombs do. They breathe out nuclear wind. But these bombs, these doesn't have the nuclear or the fallout or whatever said, but it does pack an explosion. So that's that explosion, that wind. Smith, okay. Behold, I created the smith that blows the coals in the fire, that bringeth forth an instrument, all right, that weapon of his work for his work, and I have created the waster to destroy. Okay, that's the Heavenly Father saying that. Basically, he put it in the minds of Esau, which is basically his weapon to create these weapons. You know, to at the last days to destroy. All right, and Russia got the same shit. It's not just the U.S. that has this capability. All right, Russia, China got this capability as well, man. They all out in space and they got weapons in space too, man. Isaiah 54:17. No weapons that is formed against thee shall prosper. Every tongue that shall rise up against thee in judgment thou shalt condemn. This is the heritage of the servants of the Lord, and their righteousness is of me, saith the Lord. Okay? So whatever weapons Esau come up with, it's not going to harm the elect. All right? Psalm 7:12. If he turn not, he will whet his sword and have bent his bow and made it ready. Okay, this is basically talking about the missile. The arrow, okay? See the word wet. Tosh, which means to sharpen, hammer, wet. To hammer, sharpen a sword, okay? To be sharpened. So this is the latest, weapon, that has been upgraded. They upgraded from the nuclear missile to this. It's basically, sharpening these weapons. Okay, coming out with new, different, more high capacity, highly destructive weapons. Okay, he had also prepared him the instruments of death. It's like he also prepared for him the instruments of death. He ordained his arrows against the persecutors. Okay? So these weapons, these are arrows. Okay? I want to look up Obadiah. Obadiah chapter 1. I'm going to start at 1. Obadiah 1 and 1. The vision of Obadiah. Thus saith the Lord power concerning Edom. We have heard a rumor from the Lord Yahweh, and an ambassador is sent among the heathen. Arise ye, let us rise up against her in battle. Okay? So this whole book is prophesying against Edom, which is the so-called white man, Esau, Edom. Okay? He is the current ruler of this society, of this world. Behold, I have made thee small among the heathen, thou art greatly despised. Of course. Esau, Edom is the most hated nation, all right, amongst the other nations. All right. Also, they're the not the most respected, but the most, as you could say, feared because they got the weapons. You got all the weapons and all the instruments of war, you know, behind them. Okay, that they use to basically take over nations. Verse 3: The pride of thine heart hath deceived thee, thou that dwellest in the clefts of the rocks, of the rock, who habitation is high, that saith in his heart, who shall bring me down to the ground? Okay, it goes into the skyscrapers, and Esau he used to dwell in the rocks, man. That's why he called a Caucasian, man, a cave dweller in the rocks. Okay, and his habitation is high, man. Okay, this is Esau's habitation, man. He went up into space, man. Go back to Obadiah. Though thou exalt thyself as the eagle, okay, that's Esau's bird, right? His animal of choice is eagle. And though thou set thy nest among the stars, thence will I bring thee down, saith the Lord. Okay. And the word nest, let's see, is that Kian? Nest of birds, sails like a nest. All right, it's habitation. Okay, basically, and the United States has like something. Let me see. Look that up. It's called NEST, but it's like an acronym. NEST. Yeah, NEST weapons. There we go. NEST. All right, if you will look up the word NEST and you type weapons and Google NEST weapons, and it comes up Wikipedia Nuclear Emergency Support Team. The Nuclear Emergency Support Team, aka NEST, formerly known as Nuclear Emergency Search Team, is a team of scientists, technicians, and engineers operating the United States Department of Energy, National Nuclear Security Administration. Their task is to be prepared to respond immediately to any type of radiological accidents or incidents anywhere in the world. All right, that's just the front, the front, their front title. All right, when you see nuclear and scientists, they create weapons. All right, that's just the title they want to display to the people, but they're actually creating weapons in behind the scenes. Okay? So these scriptures got Esau mapped out, man. Though thou exalt thyself as the eagle, and though thou set thy nest among the stars, this will I bring thee down, saith the Lord. Okay? The Lord is about to bring these devils down, man. He's been bringing them down. Okay. Um, I mean, this whole chapter goes into Esau. All right, but this basically I really wanted to get, but yeah, just a little update, on Esau's weapons. Okay, that the Lord is basically going to use against Esau himself. All right, because America is going to be destroyed 100% by these thermonuclear missiles. Also, weapons like these, which are arrows and missiles. Okay. So, yeah, that's pretty much all I got. It was edifying. See you in the next video. Shalom.